Redistricting chaos. The special session to create boundaries for our new congressional district goes back to the drawing board.
Renewed Tabernacle. What plans for a new temple in downtown Provo mean to the economy on Center Street.
And safer crosswalks. How new technology in Orem may mean better safety.
And I'm Lakia Holmes. It's Tuesday, October 4th, and in Utah, it's 12 o'clock.
From KBYU and the BYU Department of Communications. This is the award-winning 11 News at noon.
The Utah House is now working on yet another new map for Utah's congressional districts. The governor asked them to reconsider the one they first offered in this special legislative session. 11 News reporter Angela Santos was at the Capitol when the committee was sent back for more deliberation. Now, Angela, they had a plan already pretty well set, so do they have a new plan proposed now?
You know, they haven't put out a new map that creates a new 4th district yet, but they still want to create working on a plan that will still draw a line of separation down the Wasatch Front east and west at about I-15. But the map will give the new 4th district more rural areas.
From the outside, the state capitol looked peaceful, but up the steps and through the doors, members of the Utah House were busy working on a new map after the governor sent them back to reconsider their plans. The original proposal created what many call a donut hole district, where western Salt Lake County and Utah County got the new 4th district all to themselves. That zone would be highly Republican, and the plan further split traditionally more Democrat areas of Salt Lake County into 3 different congressional districts. People who showed up for the 2 p.m. committee meeting, many ready for a fight, instead found this notice that the meeting was rescheduled for later today. That gave the committee time to reapproach their map, leading to this proposal by Republican Representative Don Ipson of St. George. The map takes more of what's called a pizza slice approach to Salt Lake and Utah counties, and instead of an exclusively urban new district, all 4 include both urban and rural areas. The parts of Salt Lake and Summit counties that traditionally have voted Democrat are together on this new map. Democrats had already indicated they would sue if the old map went forward in the special session, claiming that it would lessen their voice in Utah congressional politics.
Now, the new map I just showed you is still only a proposal. The State House Committee on Redistricting meets in about 2 hours as part of the special session. And Lydia, the Republican majority are still expecting to see some Democrat opposition, but the plan is still a little bit more in line with what the Democrats had expected.
Okay, and is there a deadline for this proposal?
You know, there's no deadline yet, but, you know, they are still hoping to get it to the full legislature by tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you, Angela Santos.
Former Utah Governor Jon Huntsman used to be a huge proponent of alternative energy while in office. But as a Republican presidential candidate, he's pulling the plug on his support for federal energy subsidies. During a presidential debate, Huntsman said that subsidies don't work and the country can't afford them. Huntsman says he still stands behind the state incentives he pushed in Utah, arguing that those are different from federal subsidies. Orem said its final goodbyes to their beloved mayor. Jerry Washburn died last week and was laid to rest yesterday. 11 News reporter Lizzie Early is in the newsroom and attended the funeral. Lizzie, how's the community remembering him?
Everyone I talked to remembers him as a man of service. And after a long battle with cancer, he's left behind a family and a city that loved him.
Family, dignitaries, and hundreds of people from the community gathered at the Canyon View LDS Stake Center in Orem. Every parking spot was filled, even on the streets. Jerry Washburn was the mayor of Orem for 11 years, making him the longest serving in the city's history.
Mayor Jerry Washburn was a great mayor, a great individual, a great family man with sound principles.
City council members say it was his leadership and vision for the community that people loved so much.
And he had a magnificent ability to bring together these diverse minds and to find solutions to the problems that were stated.
Family members remember him as weak in the final month, but still wanting to fill his duties. He attended his last council meeting in a wheelchair.
Not only locally here in the community, but regionally he served in developing transportation and amenities for this community that will better the lives of those that live here.
Through all of the emotion, the City Council is moving forward by doing what is required of them by Utah state law. The city has until the 26th to appoint someone to finish the 2 years left in Washburn's term. Hernandez says that his vacancy will be filled. He will never be replaced.
People also remember Washburn as an LDS mission president in San Diego, and he also served in the presidency at the MTC in the 90s. In the newsroom,
Lizzie, does the City Council have anyone in mind yet as to who will be the new mayor?
No, not yet. The City Council wanted to wait until after the funeral to accept any applications, but that process should start soon.
All right, Lizzie, early in the newsroom, thanks. The internet is now cheaper for low-income Utah families through a new program from Comcast and Governor Herbert. If your child receives free school lunches and you don't already have Comcast, you can now get on the web for $10 a month through Internet Essentials. Comcast is accepting applications now and plan to continue the program for the next 3 school years.
LDS church members aren't the only ones excited about the announcement of a new Provo temple. 11 News reporter Ashley Moser shows us why downtown business owners are hopeful a new temple means an economic boom.
After Saturday's announcement, businesses on Center Street are buzzing about the good news and what it'll do for upcoming sales.
Once a tabernacle, this historic building will be the newest Provo temple. Local business owners say the new building will bring even more people to the developing Center Street. At Guru's Restaurant, they're hopeful that the new landmark will help out the tough economy.
I think we'll get a lot busier, especially on like Saturday mornings when people are like going to the temple.
Restaurant owners hope temple patrons will grab a bite to eat while downtown. Employees say they want to see a spiritual high translate into a soaring business.
Once people get out of the temple, they're gonna like be hungry, and you can either like eat at the temple or like come to Guru's.
The city is well aware of the magnet the new temple will be for downtown. City analysts say the new temple will have a strong economical impact and draw people to Center Street.
The mayor and city council has made a concerted effort to try and rejuvenate Center Street, and we've had some really good developments, projects that are coming along.
Oka says the temple will be a point of interest for those visiting Provo and will be a great place for the community to gather.
We're just welcoming these new developments and hope that the community will also help support us in our effort to get Center Street up and running.
The look of the new temple is a mirror image of the old tabernacle. The LDS Church has not yet released official dates of reconstruction, but downtown businesses say they are ready. Lydia?
Still to come on 11 News at noon. New light, how a modern crosswalk system helps keep pedestrians safer.
And impeach the president? One Republican presidential candidate thinks it's the right thing to do. We'll be right back.
2 crosswalks near Utah Valley University are getting makeovers, and students there are putting them to good use. 11 News reporter Alexis Flake shows us how the safer approach takes a little getting used to.
Crossing the street in Orem just got safer. The city is installing high-intensity activated crosswalks, HAWK for short, and UVU student Alyssa Henry knows all too well that traditional crosswalks have their hazards.
Well, last year I saw somebody get hit by a car actually crossing from the testing center, and so I think it's really nice to have, just to be able to warn the cars that can't see you.
The new system works like a typical crosswalk for pedestrians, but for drivers, reading the signals takes getting used to. The system stays dark until pedestrians push the crossing button, then a flashing yellow light alerts drivers that someone wants to cross. A solid yellow light turns on, slowing drivers to a stop. Cars wait through the pair of red lights, and when the walkway is clear, they can begin driving again.
While activating the system may be as simple as pushing a button, some students choose convenience over safety and cross on their own.
A Federal Highway Administration study says that UVU should see nearly 70% fewer pedestrian accidents with the new system.
I've never almost been hit or anything, so I usually just do what you're told in like 2nd grade, look both ways, and then go across when there's no cars.
In Orem, Alexis Flake, 11 News.
Orem traffic engineers are calling the HAWK system a success, and they say they hope other Utah cities will join in on making their own crosswalks safer. It's electric. A new electric car made by BYU engineering students breaks a world speed record. They test ran the car on the Bonneville Salt Flats, breaking the record of 155 miles per hour to 175. Students say it feels like Christmas morning. They call the car Electric Blue and plan to take it for more test runs. The team thinks it can go faster and want to set another record.
A presidential candidate suggests Obama could be impeached. Amanda Knox leaves Italy on a jet plane, and Bostonians are stranded in their cars. Here's your look at news from across the nation. Presidential candidate Ron Paul suggested that Congress could impeach President Obama for killing an American-born al-Qaeda official. He was speaking at the University of New Hampshire and said that terrorist Anwar al-Awlaki was born in New Mexico, and President Obama should be held responsible for the drone strike in Yemen last week that killed him. After 4 years in an Italian prison, an American student is headed home to Seattle. Italian officials cleared Amanda Knox on Monday of the murder of her British roommate back in 2007. While Knox's family celebrates Amanda's return, the roommate's family says the question of what happened to their daughter is back to square one. And a huge downpour in Boston left many people stranded in their cars this morning. Some areas had 5 inches of rain in just a few hours, flooding streets and bringing traffic to a standstill. Firefighters rescued many people using boats where the deep water submerged cars. Others carried people on their backs to reach safety. And that's your look at news from across the nation. Lydia?
111 News at Noon returns. Backup plans, why the NBA lockout is stressing out some Salt Lake business owners and could change the energy solutions lineup. Milestone Marathon. This great grandma shares her story of what makes her 53rd marathon so amazing.
And say goodbye to sunny skies and warm temperatures. Your 11 News weather when we return.
So gloomy this morning as I was making my way to class, and then I looked out the window in the classroom and there was this freak thunderstorm. What's going on?
Well, you're going to see that throughout today, like scattered thunderstorms and different things like that, but I do have 3 words for you, and it's snowstorm warning.
Wow.
As you've been enjoying those past few weeks of warm weather, it's been great. There's been temperatures in the 80s, and one day actually in the 90s, a few in the 70s, but it's been actually a streak of 2 weeks where we've had beautiful warm weather, just like this weather shot at Mount Timpanogos. The leaves are starting to change, so you're starting to see that fall color come in. Now you're going to start seeing the fall temperatures. Outside right now is 70 degrees. The humidity is at 77% with all of those scattered thunderstorms throughout the state, and a wind speed from the south at about 8. So not too heavy with the wind, but it could pick up as those storms move in from the south. What to expect for the rest of your day is we could get to a high of 78. That may happen with the scattered thunderstorms moving in and out. It's going to be sunny skies and then a thunderstorm. So it's nothing that's going to stay in there for too long. And sunset today at 7:04. So the days are getting shorter. Those temperatures are changing. And just like I told you a little bit earlier, that snowstorm is coming. So what to expect is on Wednesday, there is a storm that will be moving in later in the evening into Friday morning. Snow will be at an elevation of 7,000, so a little bit higher, maybe moving in Friday morning into the benches. We could see a little bit snow a little bit lower than 7,000 feet, but it's not just a little bit, it's actually going to be accumulation, 8 to 14 feet in the mountains. And a lot of that is coming from a storm that's actually out in the Pacific that is going to be moving in. You can see it out here, moving in through California. There is an area of cold that's moving in. There are those scattered snowstorms that you see coming up from the south. And when that storm moves in, so will those colder temperatures. And you can see that in the 5-day forecast for southern Utah as the temperatures start to dip down as we prepare for that storm that will be moving in. So over the next few days, you can see that today, Tuesday, southern Utah, they are having a few thunderstorms. It's going to clear off a little bit down there as that storm moves in. And then Thursday, like we talked about, those colder temperatures that it's going to bring down southern Utah to 62 degrees. Friday, thunderstorms for southern Utah, and it is going to be a little bit nicer. Northern Utah, the same. Tuesday, Wednesday, thunderstorms. Thursday, Friday, you're going to want a coat. It's going to be definitely colder, and Saturday we will warm up into those warmer temperatures, but it's not going to be like it was fall weather, but a taste of winter.
Okay, now you said 8 to 14 feet, but you mean inches, right? 8 to 14
I really
feet.
Inches,
so.
inches.
Okay, good, because I'm not ready to break out my snowboard just yet. It's not...
You definitely need some snowshoes if that was the case, but it's inches, excuse me. So.
Okay, good. All right, thanks.
You scared us there.
Yeah.
Yeah, those temperatures are definitely coming down, but things are heating up in baseball. Kelsey, what are things looking like?
That's right, Lydia. Things are definitely heating up, and today could be the end of the line for two teams in the run of the American League Division Series. Next on sports, the Rangers battled it out with the Rays while the Yankees took on the Tigers. We'll show you who took the W. And the NBA lockout has affected the owners and players, but has it done damage to you? Sports is next. Stay tuned. The Texas Rangers pulled out a win against the Tampa Bay Rays Monday, making it the Rangers' fourth straight Division Series road win. The streak matches the third longest in Major League history and gives Texas a 2-1 lead heading into tonight's game at Tropicana Field. Monday down in Tampa, Colby Lewis outpitched All-Star David Price. Mike Napoli hit a go-ahead two-run homer, and the defending AL champions held off the Tampa Bay Rays 4-3 in Game 3 of the postseason series with Adrian Beltre's 5-4-3 double play to end the game. And tonight could also be the end of the line for the New York Yankees after losing 5-4 in Detroit with 2 on and 2 out in the top of the ninth and Derek Jeter at bat. Detroit Tigers closer Jose Valverde could be in trouble, but he throws a strike and out goes Derek Jeter to end the game. The Tigers lead the series 2-1 and play again tonight in Detroit. And after a lockout that's lasted more than 3 months, whether the NBA season starts on time could all be decided today. The league and players union are meeting again in New York City for a full bargaining session. If both sides fail to show results, it's possible that there won't be enough time left to avoid canceling regular season games. Players would have reported to training camps Monday, but those were postponed, and 43 preseason games scheduled for October 9th through the 15th were canceled last month. As of now, the regular season is scheduled to open November 1st. The lockout isn't just affecting the NBA, it's also hitting businesses that depend on the basketball games. 11 sports reporter Rebecca Woen headed to Salt Lake to find out how their economy is handling the blow.
The lockout is keeping the Jazz off the court, and it's also locking out their fans. That makes a ripple effect that hurts businesses near the arena.
Anytime that you're expecting 18,000 people someplace and they don't show up, it's a pretty big impact.
The NBA has already canceled the Jazz's 4 preseason games and is threatening to throw in the towel for the regular season as well, creating even greater concerns for business owners who earn money off the games.
If it locks down, it means that 2 or 3 nights a week we won't get the projected revenue that we anticipated.
As our restaurant community, our transportation resources, all of those types of entities are really impacted by the potential loss of an NBA season.
Store owners and city officials are looking for potential alternatives to stay in business in case of a lockout.
And other events, they had the Dew Tour over there a couple of weeks ago. Shania Twain was over there.
So we've begun discussions as early as 2 weeks ago in terms of how we can develop and sustain a program that can market the restaurant community to the locals in case there's no NBA season.
27 teams come through Salt Lake City each season, bringing their entourage with them. Owners worry about losing not only Jazz fans, but the opposing team's fan base as well.
If we only got just a fraction of 1% of that business, would do really, really well.
Local businesses are hoping for a compromise from the players and owners today, so the fans will come back and they can return to business as usual. Kelsey?
Thanks, Rebecca. So hopefully they come to a decision today. If not, as a Mavs fan, I'm okay sitting on the championship for another year. But hopefully something's decided.
Hopefully. All right. Thanks, Kels. Still to come on 11 News at noon. Time after time, this great-grandmother says her 53rd marathon is the charm. Her story when we return. If you had the chance to run a marathon, would you do it? What about if the marathon was on your 83rd birthday? Meet Grandma Janine Julson. She's a seasoned runner and breast cancer survivor who turned 83 during this particular marathon. Age hasn't stopped her from running. With family members by her side, Grandma Jilson crossed the finish line in just under 8 hours, completing her 53rd marathon. Go, Grandma, go.
That is really impressive. And that's your 11 News at noon for October 4th.
You can join us anytime on our website, 11news.byu.edu.
Thanks for watching and have a great afternoon.